जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदा नंदना व्रज जनरंजना यशोदा नंदना व्रज जनरंजना यमुना तीरा यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे जय राधा रासबिहारी राधा रासबिहारी राधे जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय सुदर्शन जय गौरांगी बैंगलोरीश्वर गौरांगी जय लक्ष्मी नरसिम्हा जय देव प्रहलाद नरसिम्हा जय अनंत देव जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल हरि नाम संकीर्तन महायज्ञ की जय जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजाचार्य स्तोत्र शत इस डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की जय इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य बीबीडी फाउंडर आचार्य सेवियर ऑफ द होल यूनिवर्स जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजाचार्य स्तोत्र शत इस डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय नमाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय जय श्री रूप श्री सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्टदास रघुनाथ षट गोस्वामी प्रभुगण की जय प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण चंद्र गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय मायापुर नवदीप धाम की जय श्री क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय द्वारिका धाम की जय गंगा माई की जय जमुना माई की जय कावेरी माई की जय भक्ति देवी की जय तुलसी महारानी की जय समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल ऑल ग्लोरीज टू द assembled devotees हरे कृष्ण all glories to the assembled devotees Hare Krishna all glories to the assembled devotees Hare Krishna all glories and glories and glories and glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga Shri Prabhupada ki jai Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतं सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुलंगायतेम गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदन्तारणं परमानन्दं माधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरं हरि ओम तत्सत्. Hare Krishna, we welcome all the devotees to this Nityam Bhagavatam Sevaya. Every day is Srimad Bhagavatam that we read, and happy to have you all here. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4. Canto 4 is titled as The Creation of the Fourth Order, chapter number 20. The title of the chapter is Lord Vishnu's Appearance in the Sacrificial Arena of Maharaj Prithu. Text number is 30. We'll share the text for everybody's benefit. Yes, there we go. Sama samanottama madhyama sukhe cha dukhe cha jitendriya mayopakalpita kilaloka samyuto vidasvata viharikala lokarakshanam sama samanottama madhyama sukhe cha dukhe cha jitendriyasya mayopakalpata ilaloka samyuto vidasva vikharilalokarakṣanam samanottama madhyama sukhe cha dukhe cha jitendriyas maya pata kilaloka samyuto vidatsvatha virakila lokarakshanam. Word-to-word translation. Sama, equipoised. Samana, all equal. Uttama, one who is greater. Madhyama, one who is in the intermediate position. Adhama, one who is in the lower standard of life. Sukhe is happiness. Cha and dukhe in distress. Cha also. Jita indriya, having controlled the senses. Ashraya, the mind. Maya, by me. Upakalpata, arranged. Akhila, all. Loka, by people. Samyuta, being accompanied. Vidatsva, give. Veera, oh hero. Akhila, all. Loka, to the citizens. Rakshana, protection. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Translation. My dear heroic king, please keep yourself always equipoised and treat people equally, whether they are greater than you, in the intermediate stage, or lower than you. Do not be disturbed by temporary distress or happiness. Fully control your mind and senses. In this transcendental position, try to execute your duty as a king. In whatever condition or life you may be posted by my arrangement. For your only duty here is to give protection to the citizen of your kingdom. Purport by His Divine Grace, Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Here is an example of receiving direct instructions from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu. One is to execute the orders of Lord Vishnu, whether receiving it directly from him or from his bona fide representatives, the spiritual master. Arjuna fought the battle of Kurukshetra under the direct orders of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Similarly, here Prithu Maharaj is also being given orders by Lord Vishnu regarding the execution of his duties. We have to stick to the principles stated in Bhagavad Gita, Vyavasatmika Buddhi. Every man's duty is to receive the orders from Lord Krishna or from a bona fide representative and take these orders as his life and soul without personal considerations. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur states that one should not care very much whether he is going to be liberated or not, but he should simply execute the direct orders received from the spiritual master. If one sticks to the principle of abiding by the orders of spiritual master, he will always remain in a liberated position. A common man must execute the rules and regulations of Varnashrama Dharma by working in his prescribed duty according to the caste system, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra, and the spiritual order system, Brahmacharya, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasa. If one simply executes regularly and strictly the injunctions given by the different divisions of life, then one satisfies Lord Vishnu. As a king, Prithu Maharaj was ordered by Lord Vishnu to keep himself aloof from the activities of his bodily situations and to engage always in the service of the Lord, and thus keeps himself in the liberated stage. The word Buddha Sauhadra in the previous verse is explained herewith. One can fully remain in the intimate connections with the Supreme Lord directly or receive orders from his bona fide representatives, the spiritual master, and execute the orders sincerely when one keeps aloof from the activities of the body. The Lord helps us by giving us directions how to act in the devotional service and thus advance on the path back home, back to Godhead. He instructs us outwardly in form of the spiritual master. Therefore, one should not accept the spiritual master as an ordinary human being. The Lord says, Acharyam mama vijaniyam navamanneta karchit. One should not treat the spiritual master as an ordinary human being, for he is substitute for Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bhagavatam 11.17.27. One should treat the spiritual master as the Supreme Personality of Godhead and never be envious of him or consider him as an ordinary human being. If we follow the instructions of the spiritual master and execute devotional service to the Lord, we will always remain free from the contamination of body and the material activities, and our life will be successful. Om Tat Sat. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport to Canto 4 of Srimad Bhagavatam, Creation of the Fourth Order, Chapter 20, Lord Vishnu's appearance in the sacrificial arena of Maharaj Prithu. Text number 13. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshururmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Mitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarobhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So the conversation continues here between Lord Vishnu and Prithu Maharaj. Just to give you a little background, what happened in the past. Prithu Maharaj was performing Ashwamedha Yagna. And for Ashwamedha Yagna, you need 100 yagyas to be done. And then finally, there's a horse which is let out after the yagya. And wherever the horse goes around, that whole vicinity, the king would be declared as the supreme. So all those states, wherever the horse passes by, they accept the person who performed the Ashwamedha Yagya as their superior. While this is happening, Indra is very scared because if Ashwamedha Yagya completes, then Prithu Maharaj will be eligible to become Indra. And because of his position, he did not want Indra did not want to lose his position. So he tries to put Vigna into it. And he comes as a sannyasi and steals away the horse. Now, this is something that is very, very sad. A sannyasi never steals anything. So he's trying to spread irreligion here. And this is where Indra, without caring what is religion and what is irreligion, just for the position, goes on stealing the horse in the guise of a sannyasi. And then Prithu Maharaj really gets annoyed, and that's the time Brahma comes in. He says, it's still okay. You perform 99 yagnas. You don't have to really worry about it. It's as good as that you've completed the Ashwamedha yagna. You're getting the benefit what somebody would get for performing 100 Ashwamedha yagnas. And on the instructions, now this is very clear. We should understand that when a senior devotee tells us or an authority tells us, we have to hear them, we have to listen to them, and we have to follow them. So Prithu Maharaj stops continuing his Ashwamedha yagya, the 100th yagya which he was supposed to do. He abandons it. And the mercy of the Lord flows there because he is listening to Brahma, the instructions of Brahma. Lord Vishnu himself comes there along with Lord Indra. Now, Indra is very shameful in saying that, why should I do this? And so multiple times that this is happening with Lord Indra, he comes against and does things which are not really good. In the past, he stole the Gopas and the Gopis. Apart from that, he also, gave torrential crowd and torrential rains and thunder clouds when the inhabitants of Vrindavan tried to stop the worship of Indra. When Krishna, under the guidance of Krishna, here in the Shaktaves avatar as Maharaj Prithu, again he comes and puts vigna in whatever the Lord is trying to do. So Lord Vishnu comes along with Indra, and Indra is very apologetic for what he has done. Indra feels very sad, and he's actually trying to hide himself behind Lord Vishnu. But nevertheless, has a nice quality and a good quality of a Vaishnava, Maharaj Prithu goes, embraces him when they offer obeisances to each other. He also offers obeisances to Indra. Indra offers obeisances to Maharaj Prithu. And he embraces him. This shows the quality of a devotee. He's not envious of anybody. Despite the other person doing so many things which are against Maharaj Prithu, he forgives and forgets and goes and hugs or gives an embrace to Indra. Seeing this, Lord Vishnu is very, very pleased because he knows his children, Indra and Prithu Maharaj. Prithu Maharaj is anyway Shaktavesh avatar, but nevertheless, he is, seeing that his children are not fighting and they're together. So the father is always happy. The Supreme Personality of God is always happy. And here in this verse, Lord Vishnu gives instruction, direct instruction to Prithu Maharaj. Where have we seen the direct instruction in the past? It is seen on the battlefield of Kurukshetra when Krishna instructs Arjuna directly. There's only one contradiction in this. When Krishna is giving instructions to Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, he tells him that go ahead and fight. Yeah. But in this particular incidents or in this particular event, Lord Vishnu is asking Prithu Maharaj to stop the fight. He did not want him to fight with Indra for the supremacy. I did not want him to fight and complete the Ashwamedha Yagya, the 100th Ashwamedha Yagya. Two contradictions. Yeah, you may say, why is this? It's coming to my mind saying that, in some place Krishna is saying, please fight. And in another place, he is saying that don't fight. So Krishna is saying that Arjuna should fight to ensure that dharma is maintained. Despite Kauravas being their own cousin brothers, they were not very righteous. They were not following the dharma because they had taken up everything from whatever the Pandavas had, and they also tried to kill them. And Krishna feels that, they should not be left alone. Aggressors should never be left alone. Krishna gives this instructions. And that is the reason to uphold dharma. Arjuna fights that battlefield of Kurukshetra on the instructions of Krishna. On the contrary, when we see here Prithu Maharaj is asked not to fight, to uphold dharma. He said, what is the use? I'm giving you all the benefit, or you already have all the benefits of performing 100 Ashwamedha. Leave it, don't fight with Indra. He is himself very morose about whatever he has done. So, it's a very nice conversation that happens here. It shows that how one has to receive the instructions from either the Lord or the bona fide spiritual master. There's absolutely no difference when one receives the instructions from the Lord or a bona fide spiritual master. Arjuna was actually very fortunate to receive it directly from Krishna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. But not necessarily that everybody is getting instructions from Krishna directly. It's not possible. Yeah, looking at Krishna's power, I'm sure he can stand at one place and get all his devotees and give instructions to them. But it may not be possible like that. So hearing from a spiritual master is same as hearing from the Lord, because the spiritual master speaks only whatever is being spoken by the Lord. There's a very nice pastime, once Haigriva Prabhu, disciple of Srila Prabhupada, was sleeping at night and he gets a dream about Srimad Bhagavatam. And suddenly the dream breaks in between. And he wakes up. And the next morning, Srila Prabhupada gives the class on the same subject of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Haigriva Prabhu is going back to Srila Prabhupada and asking, saying that Srila Prabhupada, I had the same dream last night, but the dream broke. And you gave the same Bhagavatam class in the morning. So Srila Prabhupada says the Lord makes the arrangements for his devotees to hear the instructions from the spiritual master. He says we are not qualified to hear from the Lord directly, so we receive the same instructions through the spiritual master. In the Guru Astakam 7th verse, we read, the verse goes like this: Shakshad Daritvena Samasta Shastre Uktas Tadha Bhaveta Sab Kintu Prabhorya Priya Evatasya Vande Guru Shri Charanaravind. Shri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, who appeared in the middle of 17th century, great spiritual master in the parampara. And he gives this very nice Guru Astakam. And in the 7th verse of Guru Astakam, he says the spiritual master is to be honored as much as the Supreme Lord, because he's the most confidential servitor of the Lord. This is acknowledged in all the revealed scriptures and followed by all authorities. Therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of such a spiritual master who's bona fide representative of Lord Krishna. He says he's a bona fide representative. And if we go beyond, the spiritual master never thinks that he is the Lord. So whatever respects that we offer to a spiritual master, he accepts it and passes it on to the parampara and to the Lord. He doesn't keep it for himself. He doesn't feel I'm big, I'm the spiritual master, I'm the Lord. No, he never says that. He always says I'm the servant of the Lord. Or even better, we see all our acharyas saying I'm the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant of the gopis. Forget about their claiming, the highest position. They're only talking about how I can serve the Supreme Personality of God. Yeah, there's another difference that we spoke about between Krishna instructing Arjuna to fight and Krishna instructing Prithu Maharaj not to fight. The difference is it was Kauravas who are not devotees of the Lord on one side. That's where Krishna asked Arjuna to fight. And on the other part of it, Indra is a devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Krishna did not want that fight to continue between two devotees. Yeah, Indra must have erred. He tried. These are pastimes for learning for all of us. So Krishna stops the fight, or Lord Vishnu stops the fight between Prithu Maharaj and Indra. He brings them onto the same page and leaves it there because Indra is a devotee. See, whenever we are in dilemma or whenever you are in trouble, we should take instructions from senior devotees, because senior devotees are representing the spiritual master, and spiritual master is representing the parampara, and the parampara is representing Krishna. So whenever you feel a little confused, you are in a dilemma, what to take a decision, how to take a decision, where to move, take instructions from a senior devotee or take instructions from Guru Maharaj if he is available. Here in this verse, Srila Prabhupada shows us how we receive the instructions. There was once Srila Prabhupada who was asked this question by a disciple. He says, what is our qualification to render devotional service to Krishna? Srila Prabhupada very heavily said the statement saying that we have no qualification. I am making you qualified. Yeah, if you can understand that, individually you have no qualification, but because you're under a spiritual master, a bona fide spiritual master, you become qualified. He makes you qualified. In Bhagavad Gita 2.41, Krishna says, Vyavasatmika buddhir eka kuru nandana. What does it mean? Those who are on the path are resolute in the purpose, and their aim is one. O beloved child of Kurus, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many-branched. So the strong faith that by Krishna consciousness one will be elevated to the highest perfection of life is called Vyavasatmika buddhi. A strong faith. We should all have that, resolute faith or strong faith that by following Krishna consciousness, we will be elevated to the highest perfection. We don't look at mediocre perfection, because when we look at mediocre perfection, you may end up going to some higher planetary systems, which is not desired by a devotee. So strong faith in Krishna consciousness, one is elevated to the highest perfection of life, and that is called Vyavasatmika. Just allow me 1 minute. I apologize for that interruption in between. So, it is in Chaitanya Charitamrita 22.62 states that Shraddha Shabde Vishwasa Kohe Sudhrada Nishchaya. Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sarva Kama Karta Haya. It says, the translation to this says that faith means unflinching trust in something sublime. And when one is engaged in the duties of Krishna consciousness, he need not act in relationship to the material world with the obligation of family, tradition, humanity, or nationality. It says all these things, which is family, tradition, humanity, and nationality, is all completed when one takes up to Krishna consciousness, when one is a Krishna Bhakta. So one need not really worry about all his materialistic activities if he really takes up to Krishna consciousness. And that's a very straightforward answer, which is given to us from Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela. Srila Prabhupada always meditated on the instructions of his spiritual master. He received the instructions in 1935, actually, the first time that he met his spiritual master, His Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj. That was the time that he told him that you are an educated person, you're an English-speaking person. Why don't you spread this word, spread the word of holy name, or why don't you spread the Krishna consciousness in the Western world? Despite receiving it in 1935, he started it at an appropriate time. So Krishna guides us actually of the timings, what happens. So that is what we'll have to really look at, saying that not necessary that one says that when the instructions are coming, they start immediately. There are so many people who discourage Srila Prabhupada not go to the West. There were 100 reasons not to go to the West, saying that, it's very cold, you may die there, you don't know anybody, you will not get vegetarian food there, you will, be among the hippies, and you don't know where to stay, you don't have money. You think of 100, probably even 1,000 reasons people discouraged him, saying that you don't go to the West. But Srila Prabhupada said, I have only one reason to go. That's the order of my spiritual master. Because my guru said I have to go to the Western world and preach to the English-speaking people, I am going. Only one reason, no other reason. Here, Srila Prabhupada mentions that it is without any personal consideration. He said, I better die and not execute the instructions of my spiritual master. This is what he said on Jaladuta. When he was traveling on Jaladuta at the age of 70, elderly age of 70. I'm sorry, I'll have to take a little 1 minute, please. So Srila Prabhupada always insisted that, he wanted to follow the instructions of his spiritual master. And at an elderly age of 70, he travels to United States of America on a cargo ship. Travel to United States of America on a normal ship is also very difficult today. But he traveled on a cargo ship where there is only cargo. There are not many people except the crew. And there are not much facilities on the ship also. And, the seasickness actually is something worse that one can experience. And on that, he had 2 heart attacks. And Srila Prabhupada prays to Krishna, saying that make me dance, make me dance, make me dance as you want in the hands of my Guru Maharaj. So a spiritual master is so important. Even after the heart attacks, all the challenges that he had, he was just about to be dead. He did not give up his mission. And he always prayed saying that, oh Lord, give me strength. And there's one place where Srila Prabhupada mentions that, while he was not really doing very well health-wise on Jaladuta, the whole parampara appeared and said, we are protecting you. So that shows the sign that Krishna protects everybody. Parampara in form of the instructions from Krishna saved him and protected him. So there are two things that one can do. One can serve a spiritual master and Vapu and Vani. Vapu is limited by time, but Vani is unlimited. 24/7 you can hear to the spiritual master's instructions. And it is, both are same. There's absolutely no difference between Vapu and Vani. But at the same time, Vani is actually higher because there's no limitation there. You can hear. You can't be with your spiritual master physically 24/7. It's not possible. But with Vani, you can be there. You don't have a proper understanding of the spiritual master. That's why a lot of us go into looking for Vapu. Some devotees would travel with Srila Prabhupada always. This is another example that we have to see. Wherever Srila Prabhupada went, they went. They completed. And the not so good part about it is saying that they left ISKCON when Srila Prabhupada left his body. So they were attached to Vapu. And that is the reason they did not continue. But through Vani, if you are connected, you still feel the presence of the spiritual master. Wherever you are. Today, if you feel that your spiritual master is elsewhere, you can still feel his presence in his Vani. We are all sustaining and maintaining because of our Vani instructions that we get. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur makes this very strong statement saying that one should not worry whether he is going back home or not. He has to just follow the instructions of his spiritual master, and that's the life and soul of a disciple. Always absorbed in executing the orders of the spiritual master. Once somebody went and told Srila Prabhupada saying that you're too old to travel, you should stop traveling and preaching. Yeah? They said, you're too old, you should stop traveling and preaching. Srila Prabhupada said, I will stop preaching when I'm old. I'm not old. So there is no age. Even at the age of 75, Srila Prabhupada said, I'm not old. I cannot go back without executing the instructions of my spiritual masters, the words of Srila Prabhupada. And my spiritual master is always with me. Never was a time that I was alone. Very heavy statement of Srila Prabhupada, but very, very sublime statements because it actually touches your heart. So Satsvarup Maharaj says, just like the super soul is in the heart, same way spiritual master will always enter into the heart of the sincere disciples. Srila Prabhupada also said, to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, I am ever grateful to you as you are always with me, seeing me and guiding me. How can that happen? This is spoken in 1971 when Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj had already left the mortal world. 40 years before that. But Srila Prabhupada is always saying that he's always with me, seeing and guiding me. That's the power of the Vani of a spiritual master. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur makes this very important observation saying that he reasons ill who says Vaishnava die. Vaishnavas never die. When thou shalt art living still a sound. The Vaishnavas die to live, and living try to spread the holy name around. This is said in Narad Bhakti Sutra by Bhaktivinoda Thakur Maharaj. Success is in sincerely executing the instructions of the spiritual master. And then Guru and Krishna will be pleased. And the spiritual master can be a Siksha Guru, it can be a Diksha Guru. In the 8th verse of Guru Astakam, it says, Yasya Prashada Bhagavad Prashada, Yasya Prashada na gati gutopi, Dvayam tu ansastya, Yasya Stri Sandhya, Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda. By the mercy of the spiritual master, one receives the benediction of Krishna. Without the grace of the spiritual master, one cannot make any advancement. Therefore, I should always remember and praise the spiritual master. At least 3 times a day, I should offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master. Externally, it may look like Srila Prabhupada was not successful initially. Externally, no, that's something that we think about it, but he was very successful. And as you see at a later date, he was very successful. The real success is Krishna looks at your endeavor, what you're putting in. He doesn't see your failure or success. And I said, it is the same with Shiksha Guru's instructions, because physically it may not be possible for you to reach out to your Diksha Guru. So the instructions of the Shiksha Guru is as good as the instructions of the initiating master. It is how sincerely we take the instructions of spiritual master. We take the example of Radharaj Biharji Temple in Bombay. His Holiness Shri Giriraj Maharaj, he wrote this book that I will build you a temple. There are so many troubles that they went through. The gundas around, the erstwhile owner of the land, Mr. Nair, the mosquitoes, the rats. Sometimes when the devotees are eating prasadam, the rats would come. They would find mosquitoes in the water. So there was so many trouble that they took. Sometimes devotees even thought of giving up, but Srila Prabhupada encouraged them to serve. It's one of the best temples of ISKCON. But it is built on a lot of challenges at the service of Guru because of Guru's instructions. And when a disciple takes up the instructions very close to his heart, Krishna helps in executing the same. And the devotee is always equipoised. Our business is to take up to Krishna consciousness. We should be like a person who's a businessman. Though he's driving the car, he's always thinking about his business. He doesn't get carried away by the drive or the road or the car. He's always thinking of his business. Likewise, our business is Krishna consciousness. So whether we are working in the office, where we are working at home, we're working in the shop, wherever we are traveling, our business is Krishna consciousness. No matter what is the position, one has to be conscious of Krishna. And when we do this, we will have the experience of the mercy of Krishna coming from Guru Maharaj. And we will always be blissful when we see this connection with Krishna through the Guru Maharaj. So I will end the session here. If there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Or if there are any comments, I'll be happy to take them. Thank you very much for patient hearing, and really appreciate your time in the morning that you took out to attend this class. Okay, I don't see any questions. So I thank the temple management for allowing me to speak on this subject so that I can be purified, and thank all the devotees who attended this class. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Anta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. I will end the session here. Thank you.